Well, good evening and welcome back to Michael Smith Tonight. We almost thought that we weren't going to be joining you all this evening, but we are. So thank you for sticking with the broadcast and thank you for watching Michael Smith Tonight. We've got a jam-packed episode including a very, very special guest coming from the White House and many people from the Republican Party joining in on a discussion, what's going on in the classroom, and the pronoun debate continuing here on Michael Smith Tonight. I'm Michael Smith. The show starts right now. Good evening, I'm Michael Smith live from New York. Thank you for joining me on the 5th floor here live from Avenue of the Americas. We got a jam-packed show for you, including today's tip of the day, my talking points memo. Welcome to the show. Alright, today's tip of the day. I want to talk to you about pronouns, the discussion of really gender in America, and what is it? I mean, the gender debate is really rising in America. Democrats believe, people are identifying as Sikorsky helicopters, Airbus planes, Boeing planes. They can identify as whatever you want to identify as in America nowadays. And nobody, will give you any grief about it. In high schools and middle schools, they are kicking you out. They're putting you on academic probation if you do not call a student by their correct pronoun. This is just insanity what's going on in our classrooms right now. We have teachers that care about feelings and not the curriculum. When teachers care about feelings and rather than what our children should actually be learning in school, that's where we have the problems. So, what is actually being taught in our schools? What really? We need to be being taught math, reading, and arithmetic. But no, now it's critical race theory and 1619 project that is indoctrinating our children and is a race-baiting tactic by the Democrats. Now, we've got a tough fight in 2022 where we're going to have to fight hard to keep this country in Republican hands. Because everyday Americans are tired of Congress, a speaker that is incompetent, that doesn't know what he's doing, that bought his degree off eBay, that does not care about a strong border. That doesn't really care about completing the border wall. We need more border patrol agents. We need more people to help patrol the border. We need to get the border under control. And we need to send the Democrats packing and back home because they have very radical leftist ideas. Vanessa Macklin, she's one. CNN, you see the CNN founder actually sold CNN. And now it's a whole new company. He's on his trigger games because, we came back. Fox News came back. Now he's scared that we, the little engine that can take over his CNN. Seriously. The amount of crap that is being pushed in America today is absolutely insane. And our politicians do not care about you. They never cared about you in the first place. We have administrators in this group. We have people that are really in power that will arrest you, that will silence you because you have a difference in opinion. Because in America, I thought we had a First Amendment right to freedom of speech. But now in a Democrat America, we don't have any freedom of speech because they will ban you, they will try to silence you, they will try to arrest you, and they will try to punish you and throw the book at you if you are a Republican. They won't do that to Democrats. They will throw the book at Republicans, but they won't throw the book at Democrats. It's very sad. America is moving towards a socialist nation every day. They want to extend the handouts, free lunch, free everything, free. We're going to give it all away. By expanding property taxes, rising rising taxes in general. What is going on in America right now? I just don't know. It's just we're in a bad place in America. And unless we vote red and unless we do something to try to turn this around, then we're going to be in a very, very rough spot in the next couple coming years to come. But that is my very short but sweet tip of the day here on Michael Smith Tonight. Thank you for joining me. We appreciate it. But I want to go ahead and get to my main topic. And joining me right now here in studio with me right now, a great friend of mine. I've known him for a little while. The son of Jet Lennox, Emmanuel Lennox. He is doing some great things for the people in Missouri. Emmanuel, how are you this evening?
I'm doing wonderful, Michael. How about yourself?
Great, thanks. I hope you like our new studios. Our new studios actually look really good tonight. So let's talk about this. I want to talk about this. Democrats care about pronouns rather than actual policy. They care about feelings. This is just terrible. Why do the Democrats care about pronouns rather than actual policy?
That's a great question, Michael. And I see these things happening not only in the American cities, but around the world. I think this is a global crisis that needs to come to an end. I mean, if you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. I'm sorry. I think that the Democrats in this nation are trying to push this narrative that you can just be whoever you want to be and you can make up anything you want to make up, which is not realistic. You have to put your head in the game. You have to remain true to yourself. And if you are a man, you stay a man. If you're a female, you stay a female. I can recall my father told me a story about how his granddaughter was using the restroom and there was a man in the restroom, and that does
Man
not.
in the restroom. A
I mean,
man in
does
the
that not
restroom.
sound
In the
scary?
restroom. Absolutely.
Like if for example, if I were to go to the men's senatorial restroom during one of our
Yeah.
sessions, and a transgender or trans whatever
A
trans
tranny
helicopter,
or a faggot. I'm sorry. A tranny.
oh
Tranny.
yes,
Sorry.
yes,
Tranny.
if they were to walk inside of
Tranny.
the senatorial restroom, the men's restroom, I would feel uncomfortable.
I
And I
mean,
know
would
that
you
our
want your
children
daughter seeing this kind of stuff in the bathroom? I
exactly.
mean, these are straight up creeps that are trying to get closer to their victims in this bathroom. I mean, they should not be allowed to use the
Yes,
same
I mean,
dang bathroom.
if your daughter is using the restroom and she hears some deep voiced man walk into the restroom, she's going to think that there's a
Drain in the
criminal
main
or a
drain in the bathroom.
yes. But the Democrats are trying to say that that predator is actually a transgender. They're trying to say that this tranny man or female or whoever they may be, they are not actually a threat. This is actually the problems that the American people need to be addressed. And actually, I think that we have a problem in this country where we're just in a point in American history where the people of this nation are confused.
Yeah.
Some people, I know, conservatives have their mind stayed on Jesus, and I'm glad that is their founding principles. See, if you were to let's just use this as an example. If you were to grow up in a small town and your town rapidly starts growing, you start seeing a lot of more construction, and there's new people who move into your town who you don't know. Everyone who was in that town previously, you already knew, and then one day, these random males come into the female restroom, and they start being all loud, and they whip it out
Yeah,
in the
and these
females' restroom.
alphabets, they care. Listen, they don't care about black men unless they have a wig on. Democrats do not care about us as black men unless we got a wig on
Or,
and
or,
we
or
skipping
unless
and
they get
swaying.
shot by the popo.
That's right. They don't care about real black men that's out here trying to make a way. They only care about black men that have a wig on. And I've said that for the last 5 years throughout Donald Trump's presidency, throughout Chandler Foxworth's presidency. They only care about us as black men and let them got a wig on. And that is the problem in the Democratic Party. And they said the Republican Party is abandoning black people and they don't care. No, listen. What party was the people that started the KKK with Andrew Jackson? The Democrats, the people that want to keep us in bondage on the plantation. The Democrats keep us segregated. Was the Democrats in the civil rights movement? They filibustered for 90 hours on the Senate floor.
Filibuster in
The
history.
longest filibuster in history. They stood up and they said they didn't want it. They filibustered for 90 hours. I mean, that's days, all for their racist agenda. And it's happening again, but no, they're not hurting your feelings this time. They're stroking you just right to make you complacent with what they want.
This is a prime example why we need to elect Republicans to the House, the Senate, and the presidency.
We need to keep the presidency right.
We can no longer have Todd running around in the female's restroom with his enlarged
And
penis,
listen,
whipping
listen,
it out
real
in the
men
name
do
of
not
presidential
use
yes,
pronouns. Real
that is
men do
just
not use
disgusting.
pronouns, and we need stronger fathers in these households to tell men that men do not use pronouns, and real
Exactly.
men do not go around in the female restroom. Uh,
Listen, America.
that's right.
Li- Listen, America. If you elect Republicans, we will turn your projects into mansions. We will make sure that the American people have monies in their pockets. We won't extort the money out of your pockets like those damn Democrats, those damn socialists who want to make the government pay for everything.
Right, I mean, we want to make sure
Hold
that
on.
our people are
Look,
successful instead of having trannies running around in your bathrooms,
right.
scaring your
The
kids.
next thing,
I
the
mean,
next
really,
thing,
listen, imagine if you were a 9-year-old and you saw a tranny in the bathroom. You'd be
what a
scarred for
damn
life.
Adam apple.
You wouldn't want to see a female in the boys' restroom. Females, we need stronger women
Yeah.
in these girls' lives. I'm talking to you, black woman, that need to be in these females' lives to tell them that women do not go in the men's restroom. Or fathers, step up, father, man, and you need to tell your sons that being transgender, being gay, being bi, it's the hip new trend. It's the hip new trend that everybody wants to get hooked on. And the
Uh-huh.
music that these kids are
And
listening to today, they're
not
bouncing it back and whipping it back. They're calling them thoughts. They're calling them whores. I mean, this
yeah.
is just terrible.
Yeah.
What is going on in
And
America right now?
Michael, there's a new artist called Funky X, look at Faggot X, and he was popping and swinging on a damn pole to hell, and that's where all those LGBT ABC 1 2 3 people are headed to hell, and that's where our
Right.
country is headed to hell. If you elect
Exactly.
these damn Democrats,
Exactly. Exactly. And you couldn't have said it any better. It's going to hell. You couldn't have said it any better.
any
And this is just terrible what's going on in America right
let me
now.
say
It's
this.
terrible. I
Let me say
mean, it is just terrible what these Democrats are doing to America tonight. And like I said, we need real fathers to snap these kids back on track and to tell them that real men do not go into the boys' real men do not go in the girls' bathroom, and real men do not go into the female bathroom. Period. That is how that works. I mean, it is terrible, and it is just sad what goes on in our
Michael,
communities. It is.
when I went to a school in inside of Kansas City, um, I enjoyed myself at that school, talking to those little kids, and telling them that there's faith in America now that the Republicans have the Senate, and there's faith in America now that we have a Republican president. Um, but one thing I was disappointed to see was a damn pride flag swinging from the damn
Wow.
flagpole outside the
Wow.
damn school like that was a damn LGBT faggot
So they're
indoctrination thing.
flying
A damn
LGBTQ
shame.
flags
Well, that's
at
a
the
damn
school.
shame right there.
So they're flying pride flags at the school now.
Yes, and I went to the school administration. I said, you need to take this damn flag down. And you know what they did? They took the flag down, and I took that flag home, and I did a burn out over that damn
Burn
flag.
it,
Because
burn it,
there's
and it needs
no
to be
reason
burned.
why
Just like a lot of them are going
the gay
straight
flag
down
should
on it,
be
and they getting
over
burned.
the state flag or the American flag. That's a damn shame. It's a disgrace to our country.
That's right. And listen, I want to take us into this commercial break with a song that my grandmother used to listen to when we were getting ready for church. I want to put some faith back into America. And I know Xavier has used this song before. It's a song that I really like. It's by the Mississippi Mass Choir.
Oh yes, I love
When I Rose This Morning. And I want to thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. You're going to definitely come back on. You've become a daily contributor on the show. So we appreciate that, and we thank you for coming on, and we appreciate that. So thank you so much for joining me, Emmanuel. So coming up on the show, before we get to the Mississippi Mass Choir, let's get to our headlines coming up here onto the show. Again, gender bender going on in America right now. I mean, really, what is going on? People are female, people are male, non-binary, binary. What is going on? And it is trending into our American classrooms. Both things are really just fuming out of control into mass proportions. Coming up next, we're going to continue the discussion with a very great friend of mine coming up. Joining me now, coming up, is going to be Taurus Gatlin. He's going to be joining me, senator from Wisconsin, Republican, is going to be joining me after this very short break. Do not go anywhere. Michael Smith Tonight will be right back. All right, and welcome back to Michael Smith Tonight. Again, something I'm trying to crack the code on tonight's show. This gender bender. What is going on in America? Seriously. This stuff is leaking into our children's classrooms. People are male, female. We need to make sure people are waking up right, waking up in their right mind, waking up with a. What is going on in America tonight? But that's not the only thing we're going to be talking about as well. I want to talk about a lot of different things as well, but that's going to be the main thing we talk about tonight. So joining me right now, a great friend of mine, a new friend of mine, Alex Wright from Utah, senator from Utah as well. Thank you for joining me. Also joining me on the phone due to some technical difficulty. Can't even come because the gas prices were so high. Joining me now is Taurus Gatlin from Wisconsin, senator from Wisconsin. So thank you all for joining me. How are you two doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on the best late night talk show in the state.
Blessed and highly favored.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you for inviting me tonight.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So let's talk about what's going on. I mean, the gender debate in America is ramping up. I mean, just more than it ever has before. So let's talk about this. I want to first begin with pride flags in classrooms, CRT. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, they want schools to be a safe place for transgenders or if you're bisexual or gay. I mean, no, school is to learn. It's not for it to be a safe place for gays. I mean, what is going on in our schools, Alex?
What I would say this is that the amount of pushing and the pushing that the LGBTQ transgender community, all of them, what they're doing within these schools, it's bad for our children. Our children, like you said, school is meant to be an educational environment, and the amount of genders and all these type of things, it brings such a distraction to our children. It
Because it
grooms
is a
our
distraction. That's
children.
right.
It grooms our children into thinking that, oh, this is this. Oh, yeah, I gotta do this. I have to do this to fit in. I have to do this to fit in. If I don't do this, I'm not gonna be friends with certain people, based on what our society and what the school is nowadays, how everything's going like that. Back when I was young, we didn't have all of that. We didn't really value that. We didn't even value, who we liked, what gender we liked, we didn't care about that. All we cared about is getting our education and going to recess. We didn't speak on, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. Mommy, I feel as though I want to be a girl. And but
Right.
you
I
have to
mean, but like I
understand
like
that
I said before the break, real men do not dress and act like girls. I mean, it's
at
just
all.
right. I mean, that needs to be taught. We need to put real men back into school.
Really, and it's unfortunate nowadays. It's really unfortunate that we have to, we're watching it, happen and unfold, and continuously things start to unfold, in our eyes, especially when it comes down to the classrooms and the gender bender type of era that we're in.
That's right. Definitely agree. Taurus, what are your thoughts on this? We need to put manly men back in the classroom and restore order and get classrooms, I hate to say it, back how it was in the 60s and 50s, where it was a conservative classroom where we didn't have these problems, where we were able to learn reading, math, and arithmetic, and we didn't have these
Hmm.
problems. I mean, what is your thought on it?
Yes, here's what I think. They ban prayers in school. They are letting critical race theory, 1619, everything pride infiltrate our schools. You can slap my butt and call me Loretta. We have to fix our nation now. They were a concerned parent in Janesville, Wisconsin. When I was at their school, they were talking to me about critical race theory and all this stuff. Can I tell you something, Mike? The radical left and these socialists who are trying to switch up our nation are getting to our kids. And God dang it, I'm
Yeah, they
mad.
are.
We need to tell them hands off our kids.
Right. We need to tell them hands off our cubs, hands off our kids, and their and our that's when Democrats start to lose elections, when they start the whole thing of wanting to control other people's kids, and trying to control what kids
Exactly.
are
A
learning in the
shame.
classrooms. Honestly, I think the public school needs to just be left alone to the parents. The parents need to homeschool kids now. I mean, I don't know anybody that puts their kids in public school anymore because, well, you know what? We need to
Listen.
fight to make the public schools better, and we won't even have these problems. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, homeschooling the way to go?
Listen, it's gonna have to be like that because how it seems like this radical left is doing, they are trying to tear down our American dream. And we need to restore the American dream and restore education back to the books and education via history and not your political ideology and emotions. So if it has to be like homeschool until they can get it together, then so be it.
Yeah, definitely. So, I definitely agree with what you were saying there. And I want to talk to you about the BLM agenda that's being pushed in school. And I'm going to go to you, Alex, about the BLM agenda, the agenda that's being pushed in our schools. You know, uh, what do you think about having a gender fluid bathroom, a bathroom where just anybody can go in, no matter if you're black? I'm sorry, if you're just any gender or anything like that. I mean, it's so confusing. I mean, what do you think about that? And I'll move to you towards that. I mean, just they want a
I'm
gender everything bathroom.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. and I'm going to be completely honest, to the directors of everything. I think it's complete bullshit. I think it's complete bullshit that we're allowing
Yeah.
people that, we're allowing our daughters, our sons to be able to go in the bathroom with people that are not of our gender. Why would you allow your son to go into the bathroom allow a girl to come into the bathroom,
Yeah,
or even
definitely.
better, your daughter to be in the bathroom
To
in
see
a
a man
boy.
exposed, I
Thank you.
mean, that used
Thank
to
you.
be
And you are a
a
child.
cherished
You
thing.
are a child. You're a child. You're underage, and you're allowing this to happen. Well, and it's not the Republicans, but it's the Democrats. The Democrats are
Yeah.
supporting this. They're promoting this, and they're grooming our children into turn into
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they
homosexuals.
want everybody to be gay.
Everyone, not everyone, no, no, especially with me. I am true holiness. I'm holiness. I grew up in the Pentecostal church. I don't
Right.
believe in none of that. And with the whole bisexual thing, I also do believe no one should have an unstable mind.
Right.
Believe in that. And so for it to be so pushed in school and promoted in school, allowing all these things to happen, it's ruining our generations to come. It's ruining our future. And I blame it all on the Democrats. I blame it all on the people that are helping, obtain this role and this weird persona within this generation. I
Hmm.
really am, Michael.
I definitely agree with
I just blame
everything
it on
you
the
said
Democrats.
there. So Taurus, what is your thoughts on this whole gender fluid bathroom thing? I mean, then I'm gonna move on to Alex, Bill. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, this is something that needs to be talked about over and over again. I don't know how this is coming up. I don't know how it happened, but let me tell you, we need to get this fixed ASAP. A man in Milwaukee came up to me and they were talking about how, when their kid came back from their home. And he was telling me how what happened to embracing and promoting masculinity in our men and femininity into our females. But now this gender fluid stuff is making them feel like they can be anything. They can do this and do that. And I believe that we need to have that conversation. But not only that about gender fluid bathrooms I want to address, let's talk about how the people in the House and the people in some political offices are using their gender, quote unquote, fluidity, whatever you want to call it, as their accomplishment instead of the stuff they're getting work done at the House. You're talking about, oh, I'm the first this. Let's talk about your work, your policy. That's where our real question needs to go to.
Definitely the policy and different things like that. I definitely agree there. So I want to move on now to something else that I know is important. Today is Veterans Day for many of us. And I want to talk about the Act of Disabled Veterans Medical Examination. Now, this is being passed by you, Alex, and it's going to be about access to medical examinations by veterans to obtain compensation because of their disability or pension under law. So this is going to be regarding basically, just. I mean, really, this is just really good. Our veterans die waiting for decent care, die waiting for great compensation, and I know President Donald Trump worked very hard with veterans. So, what is your thoughts on that on this Veterans Day as we reflect? Many of us, tell a veteran, tell a Marine, tell a Army member. My father served in the military. So tell them that Michael Smith sends their regards and knows that he cares about you out there. I care about you out there. From all of you veterans watching, we appreciate it. So, what are your thoughts on the bill? You can tell us about that.
Well, first, I want to say thank you to your father as well. Thank you for your and everything to your father. Send him my greatest regards. But the reason why I was thinking of this, especially with my colleagues, Taurus being one of them, I was thinking of this, and as I was planning out this bill, I was just looking at the current stage of this America, this country. When we look at this current stage, we can look at George Floyd. I'm not, I don't want to straight up downplay him, but if we look at George Floyd
Right. I
and if we
mean,
look at the
Fentanyl Floyd,
funds,
criminal,
his
career
funds,
criminal.
yeah, his funds, they raised up over millions of dollars with George Floyd, and his family and all these different types of things. They called him such a legend, but when it comes down to our disabled veterans, they're not able. And when it comes down to our disabled veterans, we're not being able to you know allow them to get
Oh, this
some
man,
type
a
of
career
fun.
criminal, a
Yeah,
hero. But they can't call
thank
our
you.
veterans heroes. They won't do it. They
Thank
won't do
you.
it.
And they can't respect our veterans and allow them to get the proper help that's deserved,
Oh
and
yeah, right.
it's crazy. What's really crazy is that our veterans are now in a predicament or in a situation in their life where they're disabled due to their gratitude and their selfless actions
Right.
within this country, but we can't be able to, adhere to certain bill, give them the proper examination, the proper money, to be able to go forth in their life. And it's crazy to me. It's really crazy to me. So with this bill, that I am still in the process of producing, I plan on now in this bill to pretty much overview every medical examination with our disabled veterans. What it would do is it would be able to give them more money within their situation. We'll be able to examine everything that needs to be examined. We'll be able to give them more access to these facilities, and of course, the Secretary of Veteran Affairs would administer with these, but it's giving a little bit more of a strict look on our disabled veterans, allowing them to be able to get the proper care that they need.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So I definitely agree with what you're saying there. Absolutely. So it's definitely great to see what you're doing and how you all are just definitely helping out with that. So this is very good. Well, what percent do you think this could be passed?
Um, I truly do think that as of right now, we have a couple of co-sponsors. One being in the Democratic Party. I personally don't.
Okay, I think we lost him for a second, but that is okay. We will come back on the air with him shortly, but we're gonna come back from a short.
Give you a
Uh,
specific number.
okay, here he is.
Um,
He's back. All right, here we go. Okay, we lost your in mic for a second. Just say that again. Sorry.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand. It's technology, I may say, but
Technology. I
um, I,
know.
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're still old school.
I know.
We're
I know.
still
We got a
old
couple
school.
seconds to our next commercial break, but go ahead.
But within the percentage, I do not have a specific percent. I'm very, very I am very confident. I'm confident that this bill may be passed, especially with the different parties that are agreeing with this bill. But I cannot give you a specific pass, a specific percent just yet, unfortunately. But I do think that eventually, I think this would be a good bill and it would get passed, by the grace of God. I think it would get passed, and I truly do believe that it'll get passed.
All right, thank you so much. So coming up, we have a very, very special guest coming up. You do not want to miss this special guest. Michael Smith tonight returns after this commercial break.
She's alright. She's alright. That girl's alright with me. Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. She's a super freak, super freak. She's super freaking out.
All right, and welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Michael Smith. Thank you for joining me. We have a special guest that I am finally able to bring onto the show. We welcome you back. So, really, this president, he's had a great run as president so far. He's done a great job, and I'm very glad for him to be joining me live from the White House on the phone here. So join me right now, and this is really big. Joining me now is my first presidential interview in a long time. President Chandler Foxworth joining us live here on Fox. Mr. President, how are you? My people say that you're connected well, so Mr. President, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing fine, thanks. So let's talk about some things, and this is something we've been talking about all night. And I know, you're a fan of our program, a lot of our programs here on Fox. So I want to just start with this, and that is, this whole gender bender situation, the whole pronouns debacle. What is your opinion on that? Because I mean, do you think that they should be allowed to play on the sports teams of their gender? I mean, how does all that wrap around and work exactly?
Michael, it's something. I mean, you've got to think about it. I mean, 20 years ago, we weren't like this. It's really, changing to our world. And honestly, it's saddening to see. I'm not the guy to be, homophobic or transphobic, but what I will say though is that, if you were born a male, play on the male sports team, or vice versa, Um, I don't think that, switching genders or whatever should put you on the opposite team. I mean, if, you want to take testosterone, well, I mean, you still need to play with your team because, well, you still have the female chromosomes, So, I mean, you're still technically a
Right.
female.
Right. I mean, and that's all I'm saying. I mean, they just need to play fair. I mean, you still got those female chromosomes. Listen, a female is still going to lose, really weigh a male sports team down. I mean, you still have those female chromosomes, right? So it's not going to be good for them. And even for a male to be playing against a woman, it is just proven that a male is going to overpower a female any day of the week, even if you're taking testosterone pump pills, which I think should be banned in the first place. I mean,
Right.
that should be banned. But continue.
Really, to be honest with you, testosterone is basically a drug. When you take testosterone, it really it makes you feel a whole different way, and you shouldn't be even able to play sports while taking testosterone actively. It's kind of like steroids. Like it really, really does something to your body. And it changes the way your body thinks, and it's just
Absolutely.
and it makes the game unfair. And to be honest with you, I mean, it's something, Michael. That's
It
all I can
is.
say.
It really is something. And I want to ask you this question. Since it's on your mind, I mean, does your administration, do you have plans to possibly try to make it illegal?
Well, what I can say though is that I do agree that taking testosterone actively while playing sports, it should be illegal. And honestly, I wouldn't, I would do it. I wouldn't think twice about it. It's something that I definitely will look into during my presidency, Michael. I will definitely, consider that.
Definitely, that's great. So that's something else I want to talk about: the border. The border. It's a crisis at the border, and we asked Mason Money at the press briefing, which did a great job, about the border. I mean, what's going on down there? Is border wall construction continuing? And I know Donald Trump did a lot with the border wall. I guess, when will border wall construction continue?
Well, Michael, first of all, it never stopped. I never stopped it. If Trump stopped it, then
Okay.
it's continuing.
All right.
The funding's still gonna happen. Hopefully it will go down by the border. Whether or not Vice President John Thune will go with me, that's, his decision. But,
Right.
going down the border to inspect, with border security, that is definitely on my agenda, Michael.
Right.
Um, I'm no Democrat. I take this stuff very seriously. I'm not going to sit here and let, immigrants, crawl in illegally. That's not going to happen here. We're not Colombia or Guatemala or any of those third world countries because, well, we're America. We're number one, and we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that to happen to us. We're not going to allow all of these third world shenanigans to happen to our country. You know, and it's a disgrace to see that during the course of Democrat administrations where we've had these border issues,
Yeah.
it's saddening to see. Um,
Right.
we need to fix it, Michael. That's all I can say. Like I said, though, we're gonna go down to the border. We're gonna fix these things. Um, it's taken very seriously by my administration.
We definitely have to fix it. And with that being said, with you saying, it needs to be fixed, uh, you know, uh, let's talk about the speaker, what's going on in the House, and what's going on in Congress, because that's a big thing. Things are being stalled, agendas are being stalled. What do you think about the speaker right now, the speaker, Thomas Kirkman? A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people want a strong Republican, to run against him. And Republicans are already getting together, getting speaker elections. The sort of primary caucusing already in the party about who they want to run as speaker against Thomas Kirkman already. So what are your thoughts on that, and what are your thoughts on the speaker right now? I mean, because things are being held up.
Well, Michael, really, it's only my second day in the presidency. I've only
Yeah.
met with him once.
Right.
Our last meeting, it went well. We
Yeah.
discussed the economy, our future plans, the upcoming joint address to Congress that I hope Fox News will provide coverage to. I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
really love to see you guys there, on the
Oh
balcony.
yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
we had a good, great meeting. There was no, food fights. It was very professional. I really did appreciate him, talking like that. You know, uh, Really what I think the Republicans should do. Um, you know, uh, we need to stand our ground. We need to be the party of professionalism. We don't need to throw food fights. You know, we really do need to be the representing party of America. We need to show, this is what America stands for. Um, I'm not willing to, be the obstructionist and hurt the American people for my own pride. I'm willing to work with him. He knows what I'm compromising. I feel like, when we take things off the table, it only hurts the American people. You know, we need to put the American people first, Michael. That's
Yeah.
what I
We
believe
do.
in.
We do.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I was elected for, my policies, of course. I wouldn't mind the Republican speaker. I want one, but a Democratic speaker, it's something to work with, and we've got to compromise. That's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. A lot of stuff in Congress is about compromise, and I definitely agree with that. Yeah, that's definitely good. With it being your second day, and I know it's a lot going on the second day. Foreign policy, I know that's important. We got the UN General Assembly coming up. We got some different things going on internationally. How do you feel the America is being viewed internationally right now? Foreign policy is not my biggest thing. I'm more of a populist, person that's like to stay at home, but that is important for some people. So, what is your thoughts on how America is viewed internationally?
Well, I think that, we need to be taken seriously. America is no joke. I'm a guy for America first. Obviously, we need to put our citizens first before some guy in Colombia who's importing drugs. We need to put our
Exactly.
Americans first. It's hurting them, when we don't put them first. If we don't continue to, put them first, we're going to be number two, and that would be really disappointing for this administration for us to become number two. So we're going to put Americans first. Um, we're going to, get trade well going internationally, get the economy running. It's going to all go well, Michael.
Hmm.
Very well.
Definitely, yeah. We gotta make sure it's going well. Indeed, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And that's just a couple things. I know a lot of people have plenty of questions for with it being your second day, but I know it's a lot to handle. So, re-election, and I know it's gonna be a tough re-election. I hear you're already getting things ready for a re-election campaign.
Well, um, I am officially running for re-election. You know, a lot of, you know, close friends of mine, you know, members of the Foxworth family, they know. Um, I guess you could say this is me officially declaring my, you know, candidacy for, you know, 2024. You know, we need to continue the work for the American people. You know, we're
Yeah.
doing great so far. You know, it's doing well, Michael. It's doing well.
Yeah, definitely. That's really great. That's good. So the last thing I have here, and that is final thoughts on your presidency. What do you hope to achieve, and what is the end goal overall?
Well, you know, when you provided coverage for that press briefing by Mason Monty, you know, we talked about multiple things. What he did, he talked about, you know, us paying teachers well. You know, teachers, you know, they only get paid $30,000 and they spend half that money on school supplies. You know, and think about it. I mean, it's horrible. You know, they're busy caring for
Right.
these children and they can't even feed their own families. You know,
Right.
so we've got to pay them better. You know, they deserve it. You know, they're putting kids first. Let's think about them. You know, for once. Um,
Yeah.
we want to provide, you know, tax cuts for the middle class and hopefully achieve getting millions of Americans off of, you know, food stamps like, you know, President Trump wanted to achieve. So, I mean, we're going to achieve these things, you know, by the end of my presidency. I can promise that.
Absolutely, and I definitely agree. You know, and especially my teachers. You know, how I had growing up, they really care, and they really cared. You know, they care about us. They cared about us, and they were there. You know, and they deserve to be paid. You know, a fair wage. You know, I'm not saying something outrageous, but I'm saying something fair for what they're doing. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing,
Yeah.
Michael. You know, they're only getting paid $30,000, and that's
Right.
barely enough to feed themselves. And they have to spend a lot of that money to pay, you know, for school supplies because schools can't, you know, they can't, you know, supply a lot of the school supplies they need
Oh no,
their own
no,
budget.
they won't do it. They can't do it, and that's with the measly money they're getting from the government. The public school is just barely doing that. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. I want to thank you for sitting down with me today. I know you have a very busy schedule from the White House, so we thank you for joining me and for you know calling in to the show. Be sure to tell your friends in the White House to watch the Fox News channel because
Well,
that
I
new
will.
daily report network that y'all have that they made instead of the CNN is just sucks. Okay, I mean we are the network that's reporting the Republican truth. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for sitting down with me, and we appreciate you as we close out the show. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks. All right, everybody. That is the end of the show tonight. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Fox News channel for more just like this. Thank you for watching Michael Smith tonight. Again, fair, balanced, and still unafraid of the left-wing media, the mob, people that try to ban us, suspend us. They try to do everything to censor us, but they're not going to do it this time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.